Hi, I'm gonna need everyone to take a seat. So I wasn't actually really gonna say anything, but you guys started pulling information out of your ass and commenting lies. I'm gonna give you a play-by-play recap on what happened that day. If you are a fan of the other party that is affiliated in this situation, just telling you that you do not have to worry because he literally has so little to do with what happened. You actually don't even need to watch this video at all. So I land at the airport because I was in Japan prior to this, and I get a phone call informing that there's an article that has been out and this whole thing is happening. I'm still kind of like flabbergasted because I just got off the plane and I didn't have internet on the plane, so I didn't know what was going on. I get a phone call from someone from my company and they're like, we need to have a meeting now. I was like, okay, let's do that. So they take everyone else in a separate car to go to the next destination. Home, probably? I don't know. And they take me in a different car and we start going somewhere. So I get out of the car and I'm at this office. I've never seen this office before. This wasn't my company's office or anything. I still don't know where that was. In the office was a company higher up. We'll call him John for the sake of the story. So I'm still very shaken up about this entire thing because I was 19 at the time, and I don't know if that's old for you, but to me now that is a very young age. So I sit down at the office and the very first thing John asks me is, so what do you want to do about this? So I tell John, how about we deny it like a normal person would? Because if you look at it again, don't look at it again, but if you do, you'll see that there is no other evidence. The person who wrote the article was not even someone who frequents in writing celebrity gossip, and there were literally no photos, no evidence, anything. Like, it looked like it just came out of somebody's ass. But then the little motherfucker John starts playing mind games with me. So John goes, but what if there are photos? And I'm like, but there aren't. And he's like, but what if? And that just keeps going back and forth. And then he continues saying that, you know, that if there are photos or any other evidence, it's only gonna look bad for the girl. It always does. So now John's mind games were really starting to get to me. So these mind games would probably have not affected Daisy of today, but Daisy of 2019 was a little dumb bitch. So she was getting a little affected by this. She started getting a little stressed out. And then John starts making a phone call. To this day, I don't know if this phone call was real or not. It could have been his lock screen and he just like pretended to be on a phone call. But he took a phone call with a representative of the opposite party, and he took the phone call in front of me. He was like saying loud and clear, like in front of me. He was like, oh, you're gonna deny it? Something along the lines of that. He was like, he just kept saying like, oh my god, so you're gonna deny it? And like he just said that 5 times. And then he just hung up. There wasn't a consensus they reached or anything. He just hung up and he looked at me and he's like, see that? They're gonna deny it. I'm like, yeah, they are. What the fuck? Guys, you have to understand that John and the company that he stands for is a stupid piece of shit. Like, so once John gets off the phone, he looks at me and he's like, did you hear that? They're gonna deny it. So what are you gonna do about that? I was like, oh, even better. Then I think we should just deny it too and follow suit. But then he keeps bringing up those friggin' photos that never existed. He kept taunting me with that, saying, oh, but it's like, you know, it's gonna be so bad for your image and you're a girl, and if like anything gets released after, it's just gonna make you look bad. And it was working. Sad to say, I admit my fault. So the last thing I tell John is, then maybe if you know so well, then maybe you should just make the best decision for me. And that was their best decision for me, apparently. So in a very personal perspective, I honestly felt that I was being coerced to confirm it. That wasn't my initial decision, nor my final decision, to be honest. So I know when the news came out, everyone was like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing for her. Oh my god, I would die if that was her. Or stuff like that. And honestly, I get it. Like, I would have thought the same thing. But just wanted to make it clear that I knew, guys. I knew before any of you guys knew. So that's like not really what happened. Honestly, this one was kind of a ramble. I was all over the place. And to be honest, during this time, I was going through so much other shit that this was honestly the least of my problems. I've noticed that some of you guys like to paint me as, oh my god, that poor little girl, that poor stupid delusional girl, but like, I don't know. believe it or not, that was not the case. And last but not least, to everyone claiming that that is the reason that I got fired in the end, I'm not going to elaborate, but if you use a little bit of deductive reasoning, you will soon find out that it logically doesn't make any sense that that was why I was fired. Honestly, you guys can make speculations all you want, but do not pull things out of your ass and be like, yeah, she said this before. Like, she said it on her TikTok live. She said it in her comments. Like, she said this with her own mouth. When I didn't. Why are we lying? Lying is a sin. I have no idea if this got my point across, so I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I might not even post it, but we'll see. Guys, my makeup kind of ate though.